Right, happy new year. So we've got a new year, I've got a new editing suite and even a new shirt. Things just keep getting better and better. Now, I had a few comments on the lead up to Christmas because I started publishing videos in 4K. Ever since I started this channel, I'd been using an old Clockwork laptop which struggled to render my videos in full HD, let alone 4K. And as part of the ongoing development of the channel, just before Christmas I took delivery of a complete new PC for editing. And this is going to speed up my workflow immensely. I may even learn how to edit properly. Now, today's video is going to be brief. I'm just easing myself back into things after taking some time off over Christmas and the New Year. Just before Christmas, Haynes Publishing got in touch with me as they've just published their first ever Haynes manual for the Royal Enfield Bullet 500. Now, when I received their email, I've got to admit it was one of those double take moments because the Royal Enfield Bullet is, I believe, the longest running production motorcycle in existence. In fact, it's been in continual production for something like 60 or 70 years without really undergoing any major changes. Yet this is the first manual that Haynes have published on it. Now, Haynes explained to me that this is down to the market research that they've done previously on this model of bike, and that in the last couple of years the number of requests for a manual have increased to a level where they realised they were going to have to actually publish one. Now, I've never owned a Bullet 500, although I've always had a bit of a soft spot for this bike, and I'm sure you're all very well aware of its story that surrounds it. Royal Enfield, one of the original British manufacturers after the decolonialisation of India in the 1940s, won the contract with the Indian military to supply them with motorcycles. And the Bullet was such a success that by 1957 a factory under the name of Enfield India was set up to produce these bikes from scratch for the Indian police, military and for the home market. And since then the Enfield Bullet, as it was then known, attained cult status among the Indian population. Now, what goes around comes around, and for many decades Western civilization wasn't interested in the likes of the Bullet. It was an antique that had no relevance. But since the early 1990s, in a small way, these Indian Enfields started to be exported to America, the UK and other parts of Europe, where again it built up a sort of a cult following. Because apart from companies like Dnieper in Russia, no one was producing anything that had that true vintage flavour. Now, if you're interested in modern classic bikes, no one could have failed to notice that in the last 2 or 3 years, Royal Enfield has now grown into a world exporter of motorcycles. By the end of the 1990s, the Bullet was struggling to comply with ever-tightening emission regulations around the world. And in 2010, a complete new engine was designed and built for the Enfield Bullet. It had a little bit more power, but more importantly, it complied with Western emissions regulations. Since that time, Royal Enfield has gone from strength to strength, and in their usual concise style, Haynes have now produced a complete service and workshop manual covering the Bullet, the Classic and the Electra models B5, E5, G5 and C5 from 2009 to 2018. It also covers the old Continental GT 535cc model from 2013 to 2017. So it's basically all the unit construction engine versions from about 2010. Now, as usual, this manual contains a brief history of the Bullet 500, all your usual pre-ride checks, general maintenance and servicing, as well as covering a complete strip down and rebuild if the need arises. It's a must-have for all you Bullet owners, and it's available for sale now in the UK. I'll leave a link in the video description down below for Haynes Publishing's website Overseas customers, please bear in mind that it does take a little while for these to be distributed out to various different countries, so there may be a little delay, but it will be available soon. Now, the Enfield 500 Bullet has been on my bucket list of bikes to own before I die for something like 30 years now, certainly since the early 1990s, so I'm going to hang on to this manual. I think these are exciting times for anyone that's interested in the Royal Enfield marque. Obviously we have the new Continental GT and the Interceptor just on the horizon, and it's been suggested that these are going to be for sale for around about £5,500, which I found quite incredible. I don't normally do first impression videos, but certainly where the Interceptor's concerned, I think I'm going to have to get myself out on one of these when they become available. Right, so that's all there is time for in this video. I hope you've enjoyed it and that you found it useful. If you have, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I will be back next week, so until then, please ride safely, and I will see you soon.